Hello, my Astro family. We are talking today about the Capricorn full moon that's happening on Thursday, July 10th, and it's happening around 4:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so adjust that for your time zone. Essentially, on Thursday in the late afternoon, we're going to have the sun at 18 degrees of Cancer, so a little bit over halfway point of Cancer sun season, and the moon directly opposite in the sky at 18 degrees of Capricorn. So essentially, when you see the sun setting on that day, the moon will be rising in its full entirety just a few hours after the exact full moon. Now, this is a very interesting full moon for us to talk about. So there's a lot of ways in which we can work with this specific energy. But when we think of the energy of Capricorn, right? Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is Lord Karma. The moon and the sun are in an aspect with the south and the north node. We're going to talk about that more in just a moment. But the south and the north node deal with karma clearing and fated and destined new experiences. So not only is Saturn Lord Karma, but the nodes of destiny and karma are also involved in this full moon. Full moons are also about releasing and letting go of attachments and cords and old and stuck and stagnant energy. And on top of that, the moon is at 18 degrees. So 1 + 8 = 9. 9 is the final number. So there is a lot of energetic releasing that is necessary around this full moon. And we're going to talk about, one, how to work with it, and two, what it could mean for you in your personal life. So karmic releasing, cutting energetic cords, a new chapter is coming up in our life with all these new planets and new zodiac signs, but there is this block, this obstacle that we have to release and let go of. So when we think of the moon in Capricorn, first and foremost, the moon home sign is Cancer. So when the moon is in Capricorn, it's the furthest away from home that it possibly can be. So it's what we call the moon in exile. It's not comfortable here. So this is not a comfortable full moon, and also not comfortable because it's ruled by Saturn. And we know that Saturn is our tough love dad. So this full moon, the main theme around this full moon, and I'm going to write it out here, is accountability. Okay. The universe is coming in and asking you, have you been doing the shit you need to do? Are you being structured, committed, disciplined, have boundaries, focusing on the thing that you actually want to build? Capricorn, a building energy, an earth energy. Or are you being too emotional? Are you being too sensitive? Are you being drawn too much into distraction out of comfort and safety and security that you're not willing to build something? And therefore, you are being held accountable by the universe right now. Okay, so this is a time and a season for us where we really need to anchor down and prep and organize and structure our lives if we want to build that new dream that we're saying that we want to build. Okay, so the question I'm going to ask you at this new moon, and I'll post it in the comments below this video, is what is the new mountain? Because Capricorn is a mountain. What is the new mountain in your life that you are trying to climb? Are you trying to go into a new career, a new industry? Are you trying to get into a new relationship? Are you trying to change your patterns and your habits around your health? What in your life is new and it feels like a mountain and you have no idea how you're going to get to the peak and you're way down here at the bottom and you don't even have your gear yet and you don't have a map and you don't know, you just know you want to climb this mountain. Never been done before, but you feel it must happen. What is that mountain? And I want you to kind of think of that as we're talking about this energy. Okay, so you know what we do. The first thing we always do when we're talking about the new and the full moons is looking at, first of all, are there any planets in alignment or in the same zodiac signs as the new or the full moon? And we can see here, of course, that we have Jupiter. Jupiter, a planet of blessing, expansion, growth, abundance, prosperity, hanging out in the zodiac energy of Cancer for an entire year. And so at first, it didn't feel very optimistic. It didn't feel like there was a lot of blessings because we had Jupiter squaring Saturn. But he has broken free of that energy. He's already at 7 degrees. And so now we can feel more hopeful. We can feel more optimistic, like there is goodness on the horizon. We just have to keep going. So Jupiter is in Cancer. So there is this energy right now around making sure that the decisions you're making and the mountains that you're trying to climb, you have some stability, you have some sense of security, you have people. Cancer energy is people, friends, family, people that feel like home, people that you can rely on emotionally, because this mountain that you're trying to climb in your life, this new thing that you've never done before, you're going to need people that cheerlead you and support you in the emotional roller coaster of getting to the place you want to go. Because it's not an easy task with Saturn. So who can you rely on? Because those people are going to give you blessing and opportunities to keep going. But you got to be accountable to yourself. Okay, so that is just one thing we want to note. Now, let's talk about Saturn. If Saturn is the puppet master and he is pulling the strings of this full moon, he is telling us how we're going to release, what we need to release, what needs to be cleared, where is there a chapter ending. Saturn is newly in Aries, and he is practically stationary. He is not moving in the sky at all right now. And the reason for that is because he is about to go retrograde, right? On Saturday. So he's like parked. I'm right here in Aries. I came in, I tried to let you know, hey, performance review is beginning in the Aries area of your chart, our 99-day challenge, right? And so what have you been starting to work on? Where have you been becoming more disciplined, more committed, more structured, more organized? Where have you been improving the foundations of the Aries area of your life? Where have you been accountable since he entered on May 23rd? Because there is something here now at this time that needs to be released, a block, an energetic cord, something that is holding you back from getting your shit done, right? So what personal goals do you have? What do you desire to create, to climb, to do? And where have you not been holding yourself accountable? And we can see here that Saturn obviously is right next to Neptune. So we have this conjunction. And so there's a new dream, a new vision, a new perspective, a new belief, a new possibility, a new timeline, a new reality, a new something that you are craving, that you're desiring, that you're feeling different about since March of this year. The version of you that entered 2025 based on everything that has happened so far looks different. This is new, right? Aries is new energy. And Saturn's like, cool, we want this new dream. We want this new goal. We want this new mountain. We want to do this new thing. Well, it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to anchor in. You're going to have to ground down. And right now we're recognizing under this full moon that we are our own worst enemy. We are the block. We are the kink. We are the ones that have to get our shit together. No one's going to do it for us. And you got to be accountable for that action. Now remember, Saturn is Lord Karma and the landlord of time. He says time is going to pass by whether you like it or not. So how quickly are you willing to unkink your energy? How willing are you to get the task done that you don't want to do because it's uncomfortable, but the longer you drag it out, the more uncomfortable it's going to get, and it's not going to get any less uncomfortable, and you're not going to have any more desire to do it later than now. Like making your dentist appointment, like checking that thing that's been off on your to-do list off, that's been on there forever. Like making that phone call, like asking for help, like going to see that doctor. The longer you wait, Saturn says, the more karmic punishment is going to happen. You have a pain in your leg, you don't go for months and months, it turns into a blood clot, boom, something bad happens. That's Saturn, Lord Karma, time master. So what at this full moon needs to energetically be cut? Where do you need to be more accountable and get your shit done as fast as possible so that the energy is cleared and there can be a new fresh beginning? Okay, so this is important. Now, not only that, but the reason we know we need to take action at this specific full moon is the fact that we see this little line right here? This is a trine to Mars. See Mars over here? Hanging out with the South Node. Like I said earlier, South and North Node are activated. There is a trine from the moon to Mars, and there is a trine from the Sun to the North Node, which essentially means there's a sextile from the moon to the North Node and a sextile from the Sun to the South Node. This is an alignment energy. It's all working together. Mars tells us we need to take action. And how we need to take action at this time is in a Virgo way. Virgo says we got to get shit done. We need to be strategic. We need to do things in a tangible way. Again, an earth energy. And so right now, What is that to-do list? We know that Virgo loves a good to-do list. Virgo is like, what can we break down, reorganize, and restructure to put it back together again in a better way? So this is a super important thing to recognize at this time. So that's essentially how we're going to move forward, right? I want you to be accountable to that to-do list, to the thing that you said you were going to start in May when Saturn moved into Aries, right? Which Mars rules Aries. So Mars is ruling Saturn. Saturn is ruling the full moon. The moon is home where the sun is with Jupiter. So it all flows back to the abundance opportunity, the portal of Jupiter blessing us and gifting us if we do all the things we need to do at the full moon. So with this energy, South Node cuts away. Mars and the South Node are going to cross next week, cutting away, slicing away old energetic cords, old habits, Virgo, old modalities. So what habits need to go? What routines are you doing that are not productive? Where are you scrolling? Where are you literally ignoring the problems, the challenges, the hard things? Where can you collapse time, condense time? If Saturn is time and it feels like there's never enough time, and Capricorn is about building things and making things happen and succeeding and achieving and having that ideal dream, new reality, new life, you got to collapse time. And the way that we collapse time with this energy of the North and the South Node is we minimize the time it takes to go from the thing we want to do to actually doing the thing. You want to have a tough conversation with someone, but you wait and you wait and you wait, and a month and 2 months and 3 months goes by, that there's no movement. Time is just dragging out. You want to have the conversation, you have it the next day, collapse time. Move on to the next thing that you want to do, build that business, you get it done. You don't know what you're doing. You just launch it. You sign up for the program, you sign up for the platform, you enroll in school, you buy the course, you do the thing, collapse time. Move on to the next thing. Then there's this challenge that comes up. Instead of dragging it out, you make the doctor's appointment. Move on to the next thing. Do you see how this person went from here to here and did 5 things and moved their life forward in 5 different directions in the same amount of time it took the one person to want to have the conversation and never have the conversation? Collapsing time is minimizing the time between having the idea and actually performing the task. Mars, perform the task. South Node, the old, stuck, and stagnant patterns. Where do you need to rewire? Where do you need to become more accountable to yourself? Check off the to-do list. Figure out what isn't working. Be more motivated. Do more. Get more done. And this doesn't mean burnout. This does not mean burned out. This means my heart, my passion, my soul is on fire to do these things because I want to change my reality. I want to change my reality as fast as possible. So I need to break out of the stuck, stagnant patterns so I can climb this mountain and get to the top and have the success and the achievement. But it's not going to be easy because it never is with Saturn. Now, what I see collectively with this energy is the South Node is in Virgo, and Virgo represents the workforce, and Capricorn represents corporations. So I am not going to be surprised if we start hearing of more layoffs, more companies closing, cutting in the workforce in general, okay? Just so you know. So I'm just popping that in there. Now let's talk a little bit about the North Node. I do love the fact that the North Node is involved, right? Because the North Node reminds us that at the end of the day, if we move forward with faith, with trust, with belief, it's all going to work itself out. It's all going to work itself out. This is destiny. This is our journey. This is our North Star right now. You don't need to know the details. South Node, Virgo, cutting away the perfectionism. Oh, I'll take action when I have all the details. I'll take action when I'm perfect at it. I'll post that video when I nail it and I get it right. I'll do that thing when. No, we're cutting away the Virgo tendencies. We're cutting away the perfectionism, the needing to know. No, we're going to come over here instead and say, I don't need to know how. I don't need to know when. I just need to move. I just need to take action. And it's all going to work itself out. Now, the last thing I do want to point out at the end of the day is the fact that we have the sun and the moon at 18 degrees, and it is over here squaring Chiron, okay? It's a loose square because Chiron's at 26 degrees, so it's a very, very wide square. But as the moon moves, it's going to get closer and closer to 26 degrees by the end of the night, and then it will have the exact square. And the sun is going to move the rest of this week towards this degree, and it will also square Chiron. So this isn't exact today, but it's building. It's building to this square to Chiron. And so essentially Chiron in Aries is a wound or a trigger that needs to be healed around our identity, right? Around how we perceive ourselves, our needs, our wants, our desires, Aries, me. And so this whole thing that we just talked about, to move forward, to cut these energetic cords, to be more accountable, to start building the thing that you want to build, is going to require a new version of you. A new identity is required. Your old habits, your old behaviors, your old thought processes, your old ways of living your life cannot create a new reality. A new identity is required. So much so, with these two planets here, where people are going to say, you have changed. You are different. Whether it's the way you look, whether it's the way you speak, whether it's your mindset, whether it's your physical reality, like you have a new job or you move to a new country or you have new friends, you have changed. And the wounding of that is that's going to be triggering. That's going to be triggering because that's going to feel uncomfortable. That's going to like, what? Does that mean I'm a bad person? Does that mean they don't like me anymore? There's a lot to do with our identity, but it is required. So we need to cut away, right? Back to the full moon. We need to cut away this old identity. Okay? So here's the deal. End of the story. And then I'm going to give you some rituals and ways to work with this energy. We are about to go into heavy retrograde season. Okay, heavy retrograde season. Not only on Saturday is the ruler of this full moon going to start retrograding, Saturn, but we also already have Pluto retrograding. We are going to kick off a Mercury retrograde next week on the 15th. We have Neptune already retrograde. We're going to have at the end of the month, Chiron going retrograde. So all planets in Aries will be retrograding by the end of this month, along with Pluto, along with Mercury. And then we get into September and the fall, and we're going to have Uranus retrograde and other things going on. So what this means is we are gearing up for retrograde season, which is a season of slowing down, of reflection, of going back to all the things we didn't get to at the first half of the year when it was crazy busy. So we need to shift some things. We need to rearrange some things in our life. We need to release some energetic cords and some stuck energy and some old habits so that when we retrograde back, we're retrograding back as a new version of ourselves. And we are cleaning up the mess and we're going back to old problems, but we're going back to old problems as a new version, as a new solution, as a new way to climb this mountain. Because the first time we tried to climb it, it didn't work. Or we tried to climb it, but we got stuck. We got paralyzed. We didn't know how to take action because we didn't break down the steps into small, tangible, one by one ways to start moving up the mountain. And we didn't have our resources and we didn't figure out what we need to do because we didn't have an emotional support team. Because we started getting emotional, we started having fear, and we started doubting ourselves, and we didn't have anyone to lean on that's going to help push us up the mountain. These are all required right now. So how you're going to work with this energy, I'm going to leave it at these few things, okay? I'm trying to find another color so I can write this, you can see it. I'll just write it in this color. Okay, number one, first thing you're going to do is you are going to create your to-do list. You are going to create that list of all the things that you have been holding off on. And you can break it down. You can create your to-do list of what you haven't gotten around to in the Aries area of your life that you committed to at the beginning of our 99-day challenge. You can create the to-do list around the overall aspect of your life that has just been sitting there for years and years and years. And you're like, enough is enough. I'm collapsing time. I'm getting it done so I can move on to the next things and change my reality faster. Or you can make, or I should say, you can create a to-do list around that new mountain you want to climb. Make it happen, break it down, get detailed. For example, I want to clean my office and rearrange it. That's not very functional. That is overwhelming. Top of the list, I want to rearrange my office. Okay, 1, I need to move the desk. 2, I need a vacuum behind the desk. 3, I need to research new cabinets. 4, I need to clean out the drawers. Down to the details. Less overwhelming. Longer list, less overwhelming, more precise. Second thing I want you to do with this energy, especially tomorrow under the full moon, but after even more so as we start to change our identity, is earthing. Okay, whether that's hug a tree, play in the dirt, pick flowers, play outside, walk in a nature park, go swim in the ocean, go jump in a lake, whatever it is, earth, 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 connect to this earth energy as reality is shifting. And number 3, and I love this one, is I want you to make moon water, okay? And we've done this before, but we're gonna do something different this time. You are going to take a glass jar where the light can penetrate the glass, which is very reflective, and you are going to put it under the full moon energy. You can do this tonight, you can do it tomorrow. You're gonna take that moon water, you can do both nights, add a crystal to it, okay? Whatever crystal you are being called to grab. I'm not gonna tell you which one. For me personally, I'm probably gonna grab pyrite, which is money, and I want to change some money behaviors in my life with Uranus and Gemini. I might add in rose quartz because I want to change some things about my relationships with people. Whatever it is, make your moon water, okay? Then what I want you to do is after the full moon this weekend, I want you to transfer your moon water into a spray bottle, a spritz bottle, preferably glass if you have a little glass bottle. I want you to put it in there and I want you to spritz it on yourself over the next 2 weeks to help remove these karmic cords. Because this full moon is going to bake in the energy of Saturn, Lord Karma, to cleanse and release and cut away, and the full moon energy, and the nodal energy. You are going to spritz it on yourself and you are going to cut away the old version of you that has been doing these bad habits, that has been keeping you stuck, that hasn't been accomplishing the things that you want. And I want you to remember that. I want you to be in your power. Saturn says it's time to do the things that you are capable of. You can do hard things. And I want you to spritz that all over yourself. Put it on your counter, put it next to your makeup stand, put it next to the toilet, and you spritz yourself every time you go to the bathroom. Put it on your nightstand, spritz yourself in the morning. I want you to take that moon water and spritz it all over yourself for the next 2 weeks leading up to the new moon in Leo. Because Leo is about stepping back into your voice and your power and your passion and your bravery and your confidence. We got to do some reprogramming between now and then, so we're able to work with that energy coming up next. Whew. Okay, I went into this video thinking that I didn't have enough to talk about. I literally was making notes earlier and I was like, I don't even know what to say about this full moon. It feels vague. I feel like all that came channeled through. I feel like all that came channeled. So I hope it resonates. I'm sorry for it being so long, but I think this was just such an important full moon for us to recognize what it means and how significant it is and what we need to do to work with it. So let me know in the group chat, in the comments, how this made you feel, what you're going to be doing. If you pulled cards, let me know what you pull. Let me know what crystal you feel called to put in your moon water. And I'm going to send you guys so much love and light, especially tomorrow as you are tapping into this moon energy. All right, you guys, I will catch you in the next voice memo.